Counting early access, EA Sports College Football 25 has now been out for 2 weeks. The game has gotten a ton of attention. Millions of people have played this game. Millions of people bought the game. I'm thoroughly enjoying playing this game. It's so fun. I'm so glad that college football is back after 11 years. However, the game is definitely not perfect. It has issues just like every other video game to ever exist. So I wanted to give my thoughts on the current state of the game. I was hoping to make this video after they dropped their first big update where they fixed some bugs and patched some things, but they are yet to drop that update, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and make this video. I'm going to do a full reveal of the video game once they drop that update, because I'm hoping that will fix a lot of the issues I do have with this game. But for now, we'll talk about the current state of College Football 25. First, let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay took me a while to get used to. I'm still trying to get used to it, but I'm definitely getting better. When I first booted up this game, I was so bad. Not playing Madden the past 5 or 6 years definitely didn't help. I'm so used to NCAA 14, which is an 11-year-old game. So playing Madden would have helped. These games are not the same Madden and College Football 25. However, it definitely plays closer to modern Madden than NCAA 14. But now that I'm finally figuring out the gameplay, I am enjoying it. At first, I just kind of straight up hated the gameplay, to be honest. But now that I'm figuring it out, it is really fun. It's really fast and exciting. I love that you can tell the difference between like a 98 overall player and a 75 overall player. I love that you can tell the difference between Kennesaw State and Ohio State, right? There's major differences in college football. There's so many different tiers and levels of teams, and I think they nailed that part. I've become a big fan of the new revamped passing system in College Football 25 with the passing meter and using the left stick to place the ball where you want it. It definitely takes some time getting used to, and I think it's created a big skill gap among the player base for College Football 25. I know a lot of people literally just turned off the passing meter as soon as they got the game, but if you just keep at it and keep using it, you will get better with it, and it does help you throw some really good balls. I do have a few complaints about gameplay though. Number one, playing defense is very tough. And I'm kind of not talking about user to user. Sometimes you play against a really good user that knows what they're doing. Sometimes you don't. And that makes defense either hard or easy depending on how good the user you are playing against. But when you're playing against the CPU and you're playing on All-American or Heisman, and especially Heisman, if the CPU wants to move the ball, if they want to score, they will do it. Maybe I'm just bad at this game, but I've seen a lot of other people complain about this. I cannot get a defensive stop against the CPU on Heisman. It almost feels like some things are predetermined. Like if it's under 2 minutes to go in the game, I can almost just guarantee the CPU is going to score against me. Another complaint I have is the offensive line blocking. I feel like it is not very good. I've watched some videos and tutorials, and it's definitely helped me by using adjustments at the line and maybe doing like max protection or a half slide to pick up a blitzer. Those things have definitely helped, but there's still issues. Like I was just playing on Heisman using MTSU, and I was playing against Kennesaw State. Both teams, are bottom tier. MTSU, I believe, is slightly better. And I literally could not even get like a screen off. I was pressured as soon as I snapped the ball. Under a second, I'm getting sacked. And it was like that almost every single play. I would understand it if I was playing against Alabama or Ohio State or Georgia or whoever, somebody like that. But when I'm playing against Kennesaw State, the newest FBS team in the game, why am I getting pressured and sacked like every single play? Like I couldn't even get a halfback screen off. It feels like if you bump the difficulty to All-American or Heisman, your pass protection is just non-existent. I very rarely have enough time to let the play develop and get a ball downfield. Like if it's like a 5-yard route, maybe I can get it out, but if it's like 10 plus, there's a good chance I'm getting sacked. Overall, I really am enjoying the gameplay. I've definitely gotten more used to it. Like I said, at first I was not a fan, but now that I've played it more, I am enjoying it, but there are a few things I would like to see tweaked that I just mentioned. I also want to touch on the commentary for this game, because I'll be honest, I am very disappointed with the commentary. Chris Fowler has like no life when he's calling the games. It sounds like he's not excited at all. I don't know if those are early lines they recorded and they're going to update them, or if they're going to re-record lines or what. But I'm just surprised with how big of a deal they made the commentary in this game. Once we actually got to hear it and see it in the game, it's not that good. And another thing, the commentary is very delayed. I don't know what's up with that, but like they will say things like 3-4 seconds after it happens in the actual game. They also say things that are just incorrect, like calling my quarterback a freshman when he's a junior, or they'll say like right down Broadway when you kick a field goal even though it hit the post. And I know that's not like a massive deal, but it definitely takes me out of the game and kind of ruins the immersion when I hear the commentators just say something that's just completely wrong. I just thought with how big of a deal they made the commentary commentary before the game released that this was going to be some of the best commentary we've ever heard, and I definitely don't think that's the case. I'm going to finish this video with talking about Dynasty, but first let me also touch on Road to Glory. Road to Glory is fun as usual. It's very similar to NCAA 14 Road to Glory. I think the major differences are no high school and then the weekly agenda where you have to kind of manage your time between academics and leadership and all those things. But overall, the game mode is super bare bones. I might make a video separately talking about Road to Glory because I am a little disappointed about it. I was hoping they were going to take it to like the next level, take a step forward from NCAA 14. But other than just having like updated gameplay, it's really not that much different. I miss having the high school experience before you commit. I think that was just a massive L on their part for removing that. That was one of the things I was really hoping they were going to actually improve upon, was bring back high school and make it even more interesting. Like maybe you play multiple years in high school. I wanted a longer recruitment process instead of just, you balling out in high school and the little meter goes up on the schools. I was hoping it was going to be a little more immersive than that. It's fine for now as a building block, but I'm really hoping in CFB 26 and 27 they can seriously improve Road to Glory. I don't find myself really wanting to play it that much. The weekly agenda doesn't really seem to have that much weight. I can easily balance my time and not really be too worried about my academics or leadership or wear and tear and all of that. I was hoping I was going to have to make kind of tougher decisions, but I really don't. Like, I can easily balance my time between all of those things. The little text messages you get really don't affect anything either. I'm not trying to hate. Like, it's still fun to go out there, make your player and ball out, but it definitely didn't have the appeal I was hoping it would. And maybe that's a testament to how good Dynasty mode is, which we're about to talk about. But like I said, I really don't find myself wanting to play Road to Glory that much. Okay, so now let's get into Dynasty mode, which is definitely the thing I've been putting like 99% of my time into. And let's also touch on player customization because that has a lot to do with Dynasty mode. That is one area that is seriously lacking in this game, is customization and player customization, which I totally understand because of the NIL and all the legality surrounding that. But it's super lame that we can't create a player, that we can't create a prospect, that we can't even edit the names or the numbers of the fictional players in this game. EA had talked about before the game released how they had a system in place to prevent users from creating real life players that opted out of the game. And I think that system in place is simply just not having a creative player. Like, the system is literally just don't let them create players at all. Now, I don't want to be too hard in this area because Team Builder is back, and that was an X factor for me. You've probably heard me say that before. Like, that takes this game to new levels with Team Builder. You can just do so much with that, creating a team. Unfortunately, the website has been super buggy, so hopefully that gets all sorted out, and hopefully we can have like generic stadiums. That way we don't have to use the real stadiums that already exist with all the branding of the schools on there. But overall, I will give them a pass for the customization. Since Team Builder is back, I think that fixes a lot of the issues I have with this game. I would still like to see like create a player and create a prospect and being able to edit fictional players like completely. I think I should have the freedom to take a fictional player and do whatever I want with them other than make it a real person's name. So we'll see if that changes at all in the future. But Dynasty mode specifically is pretty amazing. Now, there's definitely issues. Number one being super sim. Like, the sim logic makes no sense. I literally saw a 5-7 team in the polls just yesterday, which makes literally no sense. And the college football playoff will have teams in there that have like 4 or 5 losses that definitely should not be in there. They are working on this. This is supposed to get fixed in their big update that's coming out soon, I think. Once that is fixed, Dynasty mode will be even better. Another issue I have for Dynasty mode is the stats recording. Unless I just have completely missed it, there is no way to go look at the nation's leaders in passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards, tackles, all of that. You can go look at individual teams, but there's nowhere to go and see all of those players ranked, like from greatest to least, which makes literally no sense. Like, how is that not in the game? And if you go look at the Heisman Watch, it doesn't even show those players' stats. It just shows it from their last game, which again, like, if these guys are the Heisman frontrunners, I want to see their stats, obviously. I have some other little issues about Dynasty mode, like when you're searching for a prospect, the search system for searching for a recruit is a lot worse than NCAA 14. Also, in recruiting, sometimes when your team gets into the top 5 and you should be able to schedule a visit with a recruit, it's just locked for no reason. They are supposedly also fixing that glitch. I'm surprised it hasn't been fixed by now. So maybe they can tweak those things, update those things. Obviously the Super Sim needs to get fixed. That's actually broken. But okay, enough of me being negative, because I do love Dynasty Mode and I'm enjoying this game. I think the recruiting in Dynasty Mode is fantastic. As I've touched on, there are some issues, but overall, I love this system. It's definitely more in depth than NCAA 14, but I don't think it's too time consuming. Once you get the hang of it, you can go pretty quickly. But it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely more challenging than it was in 14. Like, I can't be a bad team and just start snagging 4 and 5 stars like you could in 14, which I love because you actually have to build the program up. Like, you can't just, cheese your way to winning the Natty in year 2 or year 3. But this is the longest I've been able to just sit down and play a video game in so many years. I will spend hours on Dynasty Mode just going in, recruiting, simming my game, maybe hopping into the game if I get a new recruit I want to play with. Like, I got this 99 speed athlete. He was a 4-star athlete, and I was able to get him to commit to my school, which was MTSU. And I immediately started him actually as running back. But a lot of times I put him out as wideout, dude. He's so fun to use. I just throw it up over the top to him. I think EA accomplished their goal of making you feel connected to these recruits. Like, when I see a 4-star, coming to a small school like MTSU and they have like some crazy name or they're 99 speed, like, that gets me excited and hype, and I actually want to play with them in the game. I'm also loving the addition of the transfer portal, the college football playoff. I love being able to hire and fire my coordinators. The new coach abilities and archetypes are super cool and very expansive. Like, I haven't gotten through all of them. I'm still looking at which one I should do. Recruiting, motivating, scheme, like all the things. I'm still trying to figure out which one's the best, and there's so many options. I love that addition. It's definitely an upgrade from the skill tree we had back in 14. So overall, I think Dynasty Mode in College Football 25 is amazing. I think they nailed it. I think the recruiting is amazing. I'm having so much fun playing it. Once they fix the Super Sim logic, it'll be so much better. It'll be darn near perfect. Well, not really, because there's some other issues that I mentioned as well, but it's going to be really freaking good. Like, it already is really good, and I think once you fix the logic, you don't have, 5 and 7 teams in the top 25. That will definitely make it better. And then hopefully some of those other smaller things I said will also get fixed or updated. But you can tell they really did put most of their time in Dynasty Mode for this video game. It's definitely better than the other game modes, more immersive than the other game modes, which is amazing because this is the best game mode. This is what college football is all about. So like I said, this is not my official review of the game. I'm gonna have that later once they release an update and patch some of these things. I am annoyed with this modern model of video games where you release a game and there's definitely some issues with it and you patch it post-launch. I understand not every game's perfect. You're gonna have little bugs here and there, but it seems like these days companies just release a game and they know it's not ready, but they do it anyways for the money, and then they go in and update it afterwards, which I just am not a big fan of. It's definitely not consumer friendly. If I had to give this game a rating right now, I'd probably do around 7.5. Having a college football game after 11 years of not having one is amazing. But like I said, there's definitely some issues. I think once they have that big update out, I think this game could easily be an 8, 8.5, maybe even a 9 out of 10. But currently, with some of the issues it does have, I think I would be at about a 7 or 7.5. But either way, I'm having tons of fun. I'm glad this game is back. These are my thoughts on the current state of the game. Once they release that update with a lot of these fixes, I will have another video probably giving my official review of this video game. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram at BringNCAA Back. Follow me on Twitter at TubbyLight, and then subscribe here for more videos just like this one.